Is anybody seeing the title to the room?
Wait, one more time. Yeah, this is getting way too uncomfortable for him, and he'd rather not have recordings of this, so let's read the Tanya.
This John Kitover for Congress.
Hopefully he gets famous, and then I'll make my OnlyFans, and everyone will see this clip, and they'll subscribe to my channel. No way. This is a room with replays on, please. Please put this replays up.
At least this room isn't being live streamed to the whole internet. You're talking to a guy running for Congress. This is a professional campaign.
Yeah, but I'm his first crisis actress, so that's why we're doing.
Well, see, this is what happens when women don't have accountability for what they say. I'll talk about it's not gay if you don't make eye contact. What are you talking about?
Please let me tell.
I think you need to have sex with a man that's gay, whether or not you. Well, if you change one tire, you're not a mechanic, but if you suck one cock, you're a faggot for life.
Please shut the fuck up. Please put these replays off. I beg you, please. I already have one in my throat.
John, you better delete this recording right now. Otherwise, I'm going to turn this.
Fatima, I gave you a quick little opening there. I made you a mod.
Scammovie.com. I'm the co-executive producer. They call me Doc. Quiet sellers.
Okay, this is a reading Tanya room. Ladies, Danny, Fatima, I don't think you're very sincere people. So maybe Danny more than Fatima, but the point is, this is a Tanya reading room. So if you have patience and you want to hear a little good wisdom, this is the room for you. But if you want to just be hyperverbal and go to another room and get your dopamine conversation in, I won't blame you because I know that this is Clown House. So just take the deepest breath of your day. That's right. Breathe, as they like to say. Breathe. Not breathe. Breathe.
Breathe, nigga.
Breathe. Okay, hopefully this will help you get to Shemaim. Connect with Hashem. This is called...
I have a flower.
Let's see here. This is called Perceiving the One. The vitality of God manifests as divine will, intuitive wisdom, rational understanding, and integrative knowledge, and is clothed in Torah and spiritual practice. This vitality is called Queen and the outermost mother, and the Shekhinah from the verse, and I will dwell among them. Just as sunlight makes it possible for us to perceive the sun, so Shekhinah, as Torah and spiritual practice, makes it possible for us to perceive the One. These are the subnotes. Just as the vitality of the sun is its rays of light, so the vitality of God is the continual rising and falling of Yesh and Ayin. Yesh and Ayin. Form and emptiness. Form and emptiness. Form and emptiness. Chokmah, Bina, and Da'at. Through the contemplative study of Torah, you discover the inner meaning of the practices, informing your actions with intention, kavanah. I think it's interesting how that Supreme Court Justice, his last name is Kavanagh or whatever, Kavanagh, and hence revealing the unity of all worlds in God.
He's Kavanaugh, and this is Kavanagh.
This is my English gematria jokes, but thank you for correcting that.
Sorry. Damn, Norma, you fucked it up.
No. I'm making a joke.
It was a good joke. I got what you were saying. I was going along with what you're going. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, Matronita, Aramaic for queen. See, I don't know the Hebrew pronunciation, so it's nice that El Normo's here. Matronita, Aramaic for queen, where the king is often hidden and austere. The queen embraces her people and is found among them, offering comfort and love. God, as king, is the sun, consuming all in its fiery core. God, as queen, is the sunlight that makes life and living possible. That's interesting. Just as the rays of the sun take the sun to the outermost reaches of space, so the Divine Mother takes the power of God into the furthest reaches of the Sitra Achra, the other side. Exodus 25:8. If the sun dwelt in our midst, we would be consumed in deadly flame. If sunlight did not dwell in our midst, we would be consumed by deadly ice. God's nature, Father and Mother, King and Queen, transcendent Yahweh, and the immanent Shekhinah, is perfectly suited for life in all dimensions. The purpose of Torah and mitzvot, instruction and practice, is to provide us with a way of living that softens the intensity of God's light in order to bring life-giving light to self and other. The Alter Rebbe is not interested in the annihilation of this world by plunging it into the center of the sun, but in the hollowing of this world by bathing it in life-giving light. This is done through the study of Torah and the practice of mitzvot. Torah, read properly, reveals the reality of God in, with, and as all reality. Mitzvot, done properly, translates this revelation into acts of justice and compassion. That's called Perceiving the One by Rabbi Shneur Zalman.
That literally sounds like a maze to me.
A maze?
Yeah, because like as you kept like speaking, like your words and inflections kept making me turn left and right and like my thought processes.
I mean,
like so I feel like when you said that I was lost in the maze when you said it.
Well, my friend had a room open yesterday called Taoism. What, do you even know what it is? I'm telling you, this is like yin and yang, because the yesh and ein, the form and emptiness, continual rising and falling, continual rising and falling. It's basically breathing. Ruach.
Well, I mean, trust me, I've already told you I was a flower.
You are a flower. Danny, welcome. Another flower has returned. Danny, did you like the tiny reading?
Yes, but did you hear that the flower means to kick the person?
We deflowered you.
Yeah, so Zanimini, do you want me to also be taken back down to the goo?
Zenmini?
Yeah, he said put a flower. I think that means that I should be kicked from the room.
I don't think so.
No. What it was is like when John said, take the deepest breath of the day, you hold it for 8 seconds, and then when you breathe out, you like, I am power, and then you take the second deepest breath of the day, and when I breathed out the second time, I said, I am a flower, when I was breathing out my voice. And that was what he put, that's why he put the flower up for.
Okay, well, the Kabbalah is interesting, because you need to keep in mind the difference between wisdom and knowledge, right? Because you need both, and they're very different.
Okay, this is the second. This is the last one, but this is the second one. This is called "The One Is Within You." God dwelt among us in the 10 Commandments, as it is written, "The writing is the writing of God." When the tablets were lost, the Shekhinah wandered, and in time came to dwell in the way of practice. This is why when you study Torah, the Shekhinah is with you. But this is true only if study leads to action. For even the brightest flame requires oil. The flame of God is fed by the oil of love, and kindness. Shechina is the flame, your body the wick, and your deeds the oil. Just as the flame consumes the wick, so Shekhinah consumes the illusion of otherness. This is what is meant by the verse, "For Yahweh your God is a consuming fire." This is the last note. Here we go.
Wait, did you just say the Petra thing?
The Petra thing. What do you mean?
The Tetragrammaton?
No, I didn't. I said Yahweh. I didn't say Tetragrammaton. Okay, this is the subnote. When you contemplate and meditate on the words of Torah, the Shekhinah, the presence of God, rests upon your head, but is still not embodied in your actions. To embody the Shekhinah requires engagement with spiritual practice. By means of such practice, you begin to illumine the darkness of the other side, Sitra Achra, cracking the shells of self and selfishness, Kalipat, by continually unifying the many in the one through acts of selfless giving and embracing. In time, the glittering shell of self, Kalipat Nogat, is consumed. And you know without doubt that you and all things are manifestations of God. This is why God is known as a consuming fire. Deuteronomy 4:24. This is the hope of the in-betweener, to be consumed by the fire of God, to be embraced by the infinite love of the one who is all. For the righteous, aka Zadok, such hope is unnecessary, for they are always on fire with God's love. For the wicked, Rasha, such hope is meaningless, for they are devoted to remaining separate from God and godliness. Only to the Benoni, the in-betweener, does such hope speak, for hers is a life of yearning, channeled through the discipline of the Spirit. If you wish to take up the path of the in-betweener, know you are taking up a great work, a work upon which the well-being of all worlds depends. Okay, then this is the last one I'm going to read. You guys want to comment on that?
May I ask one point of clarification, please?
Go ahead.
Like, Shekhinah.
Shekhinah.
When you say it, tomato, whatever. But when you say it,
How do you say it?
I think it's pronounced Shekhinah.
It's Shayna. It's like if you named your child that, it would be Shayna.
It's just
But,
Sheena. You're not talking about
Shekinah.
Shekinah, like with the
But it's Shayna. But when you say it, it's like Shekhinah.
It's basically She China.
Is it the light of God?
It's the present.
It's the
presence. It's the presence of God in and around all things.
But isn't there like stuff with it? It has been gone, and then it has to come back, and people believe it hasn't been in a place since a certain time or something.
And in Christianity, Danny, we call it Shekinah. Like that shit. Like when Jesus came back after Mary Magdalene saw him, he was in his Shekinah glow or Shekinah.
Have you seen it as like a prism of light? Like, I don't know. I was like doing all this research and stuff, and then it was like just like a prism, like a Pink Floyd type of prism with the rainbow coming through and the unfiltered light.
Doc, do you want to finish up what you're saying?
Well, yeah, because when if you read in Christianity, after Jesus was resurrected, he'd been dead for 3 days, and he came back, and Mary Magdalene saw him. He was in his Shekinah glow, which means that he was surrounded by an aura of light. And he says, "Do not touch me, woman. I have yet to see the Father." You know, because he had just come back from paradise. And, like, so he's literally in the glow of the Lord. And, like, Shekinah, or Shana, or however you want to say it. Like, it's all tomato.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, they're all so relevant, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, this is the last one I'm going to read. And Zach, if you have time to read one or two, it would be great. This is called The Dwelling of God, number 51, from Tanya, Masterpiece of Hasidic Wisdom. How shall we understand the phrase, the Shekhinah, the Shekhinah dwells? How shall we understand the phrase, the Shekhinah dwells? It cannot be that God dwells in one place and not another, for the whole world is full of his glory. To understand the Shekhinah dwells, you must understand the text, and from my flesh I see God. The flesh perceives everything in terms of space and time, hence the body's perception of God dwelling in space and time. In this way, we imagine consciousness dwelling in the brain when in fact it pervades the entire body. Just as consciousness pervades the body, so the endless one fills all the worlds. Just as consciousness is said to dwell in the brain, so God is said to dwell in the world. This is the subnote. Shekhinah is the felt presence of God. Each of the five worlds has its own intelligence or way of knowing, and each intelligence has its own way of knowing God. Asiya Nefesh experiences God as natural law. Yetzira Ruach as primal love and fear. Beriya Neshama as an idea or ideal. Atzilut Chaya as the many, and Adam Kadman Yechida as the only one. Of the five, only Neshama's way of knowing makes of God an other and situates that other in time and space. This situated God is called Shekhinah. The Alter Rebbe's concern here is that you see through the limitations of Neshama and not imagine that Shekhinah is somewhere rather than everywhere, and sometime rather than right now. This removal of Neshama's delusions is the work of the in-betweener.